Hi, welcome to Radio 1 Movies with me, Rhianna. There are so many massive films out this week. Black Mass with an interview from Johnny Depp and Benedict Cumberbatch, 2 for the price of 1. Also Carol with an interview from Cate Blanchett. Bridge of Spies I'll be reviewing, and The Good Dinosaur. Let's start with Johnny Depp's Black Mass. This is the true story about gangster Whitey Bulger, who was granted immunity by the FBI for his crimes in Boston for information about other criminals.
John, do you know what I do to rats?
It ain't ratting, Jimmy. It's an alliance.
An alliance between me and the FBI.
No, between you and me.
This stars Johnny Depp and Benedict Cumberbatch as brothers, and although Whitey Bulger was a really nasty human being, I like the domestic moments where they end up cooking for each other, so I inevitably asked them this.
You know, Billy cooks breakfast for you. Johnny, if you were cooking breakfast for Benedict, what would you cook?
Eggs Benedict.
Of course. I knew I could have put money on that.
Do you know what? That literally hadn't even crossed my mind.
There is only one thing.
I didn't set that up, I promise.
No, of course you didn't.
And Benedict, all right, so Johnny's cooking you breakfast. What are you going to cook Johnny for lunch?
Johnny on the spot. Jiffy John.
The Jiffy John.
Jiffy John, you
the
know, the
Jiffy
toilets.
John,
There
Kipper
it is.
Jiff John.
Yeah.
The Kipper Burger.
The Kipper.
Kipper Burger.
Lovely.
With the
Benedict,
Johnny Depp dip.
If you like films like Goodfellas, this is in a very similar vein, almost too similar. There's nothing new. Johnny Depp gives a very cold, intimidating performance as Whitey Bulger, but it's slightly undercut by these bright blue contact lenses, which make him look really inhuman. It's distracting. Joel Edgerton gives one of his best performances, I think, as this FBI agent who thinks he's untouchable. So if you go and see the film, see it for him. 3 stars for Black Mass. Next up, it's Carol. This is a romantic drama about a young woman who falls in love with an older woman, but because it's the 50s, their love is even more forbidden.
And you live alone, Therese Balavet?
I do. Well, there's Richard. He'd like to live with me. Oh, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, he'd like to marry me.
I see. And would you like to marry him?
Well, I barely even know what to order for lunch.
Carol seems iconic already, so when I spoke to Cate Blanchett, I asked her what other films inspired her to do this.
One of my all-time favourite films is Brief Encounter. Both Carol and Brief Encounter are incredibly romantic and have these epic, tumultuous feelings within a very, very domestic setting. But the bookend scenes that you see with Carol and Therese, which is an inconsequential meeting of 2 girlfriends over, a cup of tea at the Ritz, and then you come back to that scene at the end and you realise what's gone on. So that's a film that I constantly draw from.
This is totally a performance-driven film. Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara are perfect in their respective roles. One is wide-eyed and naive, the other one is sensual and experienced. And it's all about repression in the 50s, but it's powerful and subtle and also really quite optimistic. So 4 stars for Carol. Next up, it's Bridge of Spies. A Soviet spy is discovered in America, and the lawyer brought in to defend him, played by Tom Hanks, then has to negotiate an exchange with an American pilot caught on enemy soil.
As for Abel, if he dies in an American prison, the next Russian operative who gets caught might think twice about keeping his mouth shut. And you never know. Abel might want to see the sky again and decide to trade Russian secrets for small American favors.
Based on true events, this feels like an understated story which builds depth and tension in the first half so that you really care about what happens in the more exciting second half. Steven Spielberg always manages to bring out the best in Tom Hanks, who remains one of the best actors, I think, in the world. In this, he's witty and quick and so watchable. 4 stars for Bridge of Spies. Finally, it's The Good Dinosaur. Arlo is a young dinosaur who gets separated from his family and needs the help of a little cave boy to get home.
Family. Huh? You don't understand. That's okay.
This is definitely one for younger viewers. The animation is gorgeous, and after a slow start, the story does pick up, but it feels like a very standard moralistic theme, a bit like Bambi or The Lion King, but without any of the humour. I don't think it's going to hang around for long. Plus, there aren't even that many dinosaurs in it, so 3 stars for The Good Dinosaur. Next week, it's really Christmassy for some reason. We have Christmas with the Coopers, Krampus, The Night Before, and non-Christmassy Victor Frankenstein with interview from Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy. So see you then.